Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to work on a floral design, floral pattern, and I'm feeling some fall florals today. This is the second page in a sketchbook that I'm working on, just thinking about some fall colors, fall florals, keeping all my ideas here. I've had this Strathmore mixed media sketchbook for a while, but I didn't have a plan for it. So I thought, why not just start putting ideas for workshops in there, some upcoming things that I want to try out. So first page was just some fall florals. Now I want a pattern. Okay. So the idea for me for working on a floral pattern is some big flowers or a couple of smaller ones, and then scatter them around and then work on smaller elements. So I'm going to use my KMS Blooms and Brews palette, mixing in some of that sunflower and seeing what colors come out of that are fall-ish. And I'm going to work with my Princeton brushes. So some of that bright dragon fruit is going to get mixed in with some sunflower and get hopefully a nice peachy tone. And I kind of want to go with a rose. It's one of my favorite flowers to paint, and I haven't done it in a while. So I'm going to start over here. I've taken a few little watercolor workshops on painting with florals over the years, and at this point I don't really think about what I'm doing. I just go. So it is a little bit relaxing at this point, and I know when to end something, I think, and when to add more water and loosen up the edges. So this is more like end of summer color palette here. I go back in with that corally pink, darken up the center, and then get some leaves. I've got my edges of the paper taped off, so at the end, hopefully we get something really pretty on the border. And then I'll work on this corner first and then repeat the pattern, hopefully. That looks good for over there. Now that I've got a rose, I'm going to go for something more poppy-like. And thinking about the color for this one, a bit of orange, this California poppy, and sunflower from the KMS palette. Maybe have that on an angle here. I really like that color, and I'm going to want to have a brown that bleeds in there. I might go back in with some gold detail to everything at the end. So I'm going to use more of the moss color for this one and do some different leaves there. I want to see what happens when I add some of this brown to the bright pink here. Trying to mix this, get a little bit more muted color. And something here. I really like what happened to that bright pink. It's a really pretty mix. Again, mixing my greens, getting something a little different for this one. And then maybe some little blue flower is what I'll do in between my big major florals. So I want to use some other colors from this set. Over on Instagram at the beginning of August, I'll have a loose floral challenge with Tracy again. So if you follow me over there, you know Traces with Palacios. And we are going to do something for fall. It's an early fall floral, focusing mainly on the color palette. So some golden florals. So this is a little bit of inspiration. Really like the bleeds on that one. Okay, I'm going to do another one of these. Again, slightly changing the color. This time I know I want to add my caramel latte. It's a gorgeous color. It really lives up to the name. So I'm going to add a little bit of that California poppy color to it. And we'll see what happens. I think one right here. Gorgeous. This time I'll have it face the other way. Adding some water. A little bit more water. Hi, the witchy mom. I'm gonna add in some brown there, and then I want to use that pink again over here to balance it. Really think this would end up looking good with some gold highlights. All right, another dragon fruit and sunflower color combo. I'm gonna get this one closer to the edge down here. So let me move my sketchbook. I'll do a rose here. Just really loose. I'm trying not to be so careful about the petals. It won't turn out looking like a rose. And then a little bit more of that sunflower on the outer edges. Okay, I think that is pretty good there. Blue, something little, something sort of like a cornflower, something as my sort of secondary element. Just gotta have to think about the flow of this. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush for the stems. I have my size 4. I want my 2, so I've got to go look for that. I thought I pulled it out. There it is. This is cold press paper. Oh, I almost never use hot press. I'm just not a fan. I love some texture. I feel like it really is what makes my flowers. This is not my favorite paper. That's why it's just my sketchbook. Like this is not ever going to get sold or anything like that. But my bow hung paper cold press as much texture as I can find. Always really works for me. I know some artists that just adore their hot press, and I don't get it. This is really rough sketching for me. I don't work with patterns much at all. So, just for fun. Gotta practice what you're not great at. This way. I really like those little florals, the little filler things. A lot less pressure there. Maybe one over here. I'm really not thinking about placement. I should be. But I never do sketches for my loose pieces. It's just whatever I'm feeling like in the moment. Then sometimes at the end I'm like, oh, that would have looked better right there or over there. Like this gap here, I feel like I have to put another poppy, something off the edge over there. And then maybe just a few light leaves in between, and then I'm pretty much done. And then another one of these blue fillers over here. I know I taped the edges, but I haven't really been getting close, so getting close here. Another thing I want to work on next week is fish. It's a little tropical fish, something like that. Okay, I like that. Yes, I'm going to add another one of these over here. That was my 6, and I'm going to make it this caramel latte color, a little bit of orange. Let's see some of it over here. Peeking in. Like that. Got to include some leaves. Also coming in from the edge. There. You can See what that looks like. Okay, now I feel good about that corner. I think you can see pretty much everything. Yeah, you can see it all now. I want to add some greenery. And I just think, since I've got a lot of this, more olive, lighter leaves, I'm wondering if I should make it more of a blue-green, since that's sort of with the smaller elements. So I'm going to work on that. I use my 4 for these leaves, trying to keep it kind of small. I'm going to tie in that blue with the green. Add a bunch of water because I don't want it too distracting. Can always add more color. Okay. Starting in this corner. It's already a little bit bigger than I wanted, but that's okay. Okay. Gonna add that in places. Really like how this is turning out. This could have easily been sort of eucalyptus, but it's so much fun painting leaves like this. Make some smaller ones. Maybe if I try. Then I don't want to overcrowd it. Want one coming down. I really love this page. Okay. What will I do with this when I'm done? I'm going to flip the page and just work on something else. This is all just practice ideas. So if I come back and think, wow, I really love this, I'll do this on one of my nicer bow hung papers. Thank you. I really don't do patterns. You could tell this is where I started. I'm not as loose. This is the first thing I did when I painted today. I always loosen up towards the end. I just feel like that's how it goes. Yeah, I haven't sold a painting in a while because I don't come over here live and just paint. But if anyone really wants it, I could work on reproducing. It'll be unique since I always just hand paint everything. I do want to add some gold into these centers. Maybe a tiny bit of gold and some leaves. But I think that would look really cute. I don't want to do much more right now since things are still wet. I might work on another layer of a piece I've got off to the side. I've got my seahorse right here. This is layer 2 of maybe 4. So I'm using masking fluid here. I don't typically work with masking fluid. It's a little project from a watercolor book. Let me see if I have that next to me. Wild Watercolor. Super fun. Lots of fun projects with animals of different kinds. Let's see. Some of my favorites from this. I really enjoyed this one. Some of them are just watercolor, don't need any other materials. The snake used some masking fluid. That was fun. I adored this turtle project. I painted that and I got a sale out of that. Let's see. This cutie pie. Butterflies. Yeah, so just when you want to follow someone else or try out a new style, it's always nice to pick up a book. So I might work on that later. Can't wait to see what this looks like without the tape, even though I didn't go off to the edge as much as I should have for it to be a dramatic difference, but I could always do a gold border around the edge in the places that I don't have florals. I know Bindi does that a lot. Not recently, but she used to as her signature. All right, so that is it for me today live. I've got a few other things to take care of, and let's see, tomorrow afternoon I'll be free. I might paint, and definitely a couple times next week once live with Aduma over on Instagram. We've got a ice cream truck. I don't think we've mentioned exactly what it is, but ice cream truck that we're going to work on, and she's got a sketch. So if you want to paint along with the sketch as a guide, you can do that, or paint your own. But since National Ice Cream Day is coming up, July 20th, we thought we'd do that as the next in our summer series. We've got a lifeguard tower already done, a fruit and floral wreath. We just did bikini on a line with a little house plant. So there's a whole bunch. Templates included if you DM either of us over on Instagram, and our lives are shared there. A few more projects for our summer series coming up. We've got a very beautiful ocean-inspired wreath. I haven't seen anything like it. And maybe another fruit-inspired piece, some sea animals. So lots to come over the summer. And I hope to see you again. But that's it for today. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday. Bye, everyone.